Good morning, everyone, and welcome to my live acrylic painting stream. And today we are going to be working on our ocean view journal. Behold. And we are on page number 18 of 24. And let me show you how it's been going. If we have time to get to it today, then we may do page 19 as well. So let me go through all of these for anyone who is not familiar. We've been on a painting adventure of painting the sea. And these paintings are approximately, well, I think they're 4x6, but they look a little bigger in this journal. They're all acrylic paint, and they've been taking a bit over an hour, sometimes an hour and a half, depending on the complexity of the scene. And I would love it if you would follow along on this journey. We're going to go all the way to 24 pages before we start our next journal and painting adventure. We've done a lot of California ocean scenes, some Oregon ocean scenes, and some kind of ambiguous wherever you want to be. Daytime, nighttime, wave, seafoam, although I feel like I might do another wave before we're done. We have about 6 more pages left to go. Possibly some more ocean life as well. I love this one. It matches the bookmark. Ta-da! Seafoam green. Kind of like fake seafoam green. I have not yet painted any seafoam that is actually that color. This one was the other night, and that's Cannon Beach in Oregon. And there we are, 18. The reference photo for today's painting is on the Discord. I'm going to be doing some seagrasses. I'm going to rearrange some stuff here like I do to make the composition a bit better. I'm going to start by giving us a horizon line to work with that's going to be a bit below center. I don't like chopping my painting in half. And I'm going to be using an alcohol-based marker. The reason for that is it will not lift when the water-based paint goes on it. I like how these grasses are crisscrossing down at the bottom, and then the rays of light coming out of the clouds are going the opposite way, so it kind of gives it a zigzag composition. Also gonna change the clouds so they lead you towards the sun a bit more. Just kind of put some subtle marks in to remind myself where I'm going with that. There's some sun rays coming out of the top of the clouds here, and then also you may not be able to see it on stream because that's pretty tiny, but there's sun rays coming down onto the top of the ocean on this one as well, which I think ultimately between that and the seagrass is why it was selected from the plethora of ocean scenes, the reference photos that we have collected. Okay, that's pretty much all the guidelines that we're going to need. Anything else is kind of unnecessary. Oh, hi, App. How are you doing this morning? Yeah, and the trick with the marker cementing the graphite is like double cool, and that I discovered on accident for sure. That was a complete accident. Because there's nothing worse than all the graphite like coming off into some light color like white or yellow. I'm doing good. I got started a little bit late because I was trying to disappear the background back here. It's not happening. And that's fine. It's fine. It's the house. But I tried. It took us so much CPU power that there was actual lag, like actual visual lag. I was like, well, that's not gonna look good. I'm gonna have like no lip syncing. All part of the journey. So that's okay. We're past that now. Not even gonna bother. Can you believe we're on page 18 already? I just think that's crazy. Like always, or at least this whole journal, I am gonna start with the warm colors right on the white paper, and then do all of our cool colors after the fact. Yeah, hopefully we get to 2 pages today. That would be nice. That would be a goal of mine, is to do 2 pages on the morning streams. And so what I'm hoping is that this page goes fairly quickly because I want to do rocks and trees in the next page, and that seems to be taking just a little bit longer, which is fine. That is the viewer's request. More rocks, more trees. I also, it seems like it was an even split on the requests. It's like people definitely wanted all 3 things. I did get a lot of votes for more ocean life or coastal life. And I was like, oh boy. But I didn't see any reference images that were super compelling for me. I don't know what I would be looking for, like maybe a sea otter or something like that. Oh yes, it's been a while since I've painted a sea otter, it's true. Okay, now we're gonna put some warm colors down into the ocean. Some gray peach, gray peachy color, and it's kind of almost going towards a little towards mauve, I guess? Nah, there's no purple in there, not yet. I'll put a little bit more white and yellow towards the middle where it's reflecting the sun. Then more peachy where it's the beach. And I'll get that color all back in here. All right, now that we're all grounded, I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna move on to the blue color in the sky. Maybe we can do like a little baby sea otter. What do you think? A little baby one? If you see something cute, let me know. Just like throw it in the Discord. Maybe you'll find something so undeniably cute that I'll paint it today. We don't know. I'm kind of like all over the place like that. I'm gonna start with the lightest blues, which are gonna be down here right at the where it meets the clouds. wonder if I should leave those rays light just like that. That might be good. Might be a good thing. I'll just sharpen up the edges right there. Yeah, I think that'll do actually. That's not a bad idea. Okay, now I'm going to add a little bit more blue. I'm going to start at the corner and then work my way back to where I started blending. Now, this is kind of a good time to mention why it's easier to start painting in acrylic, painting small, or really painting anything kind of small, or this like, no, this is considered small. I wouldn't even call it medium. You can move faster, so you're practicing more techniques because you're getting more paintings done. And then your blending is easier to accomplish because you're blending a smaller area, so you're kind of like building up confidence in that way too. Although I started with teaching a lot of 8x10s, and then I went down to 5x7s, and I think that I am most happy with the 6x8s. So like I'm really feeling like that's a happy medium. Oh, that's a little too dark right there. And I'm gonna make sure to put some of that up here. There's gonna be some little sky holes in the clouds, but they're all kind of aiming down to our focal point, creating these lead lines. I'm gonna put some little white wispies in now. So I think, Ath, just so you know, that I'm going to be streaming on Twitch every time I stream also, even in the evening. And it just worked really well, muting my microphone in between talking. It'll just be like a more low-key stream in the evening. Right now I'm adding the little highlighted areas to the edges of the clouds. And then I'm going to be putting in I guess it's I don't know, like a mauve-y blue-gray color. Okay, so the color that I'm mixing right now is more of that mauve color that we were talking about. And that's going to be more close to the sun. And then as we radiate out from that, it's going to get more blue. The shadow color will get cooler. Mixing effortlessly. So I think the key to mixing is limiting your color palette. So I really only use cerulean blue and this aqua color are the blues with ultramarine. So there's 3 blues, right? And you know, like the aqua, I don't always use that. It's mostly for like the ocean scene stuff. And then for the reds, it's cadmium red and medium and quinacridone magenta. And the quinacridone magenta is really just for purple. And then there's one yellow, and then this orange color I've been using more recently. So, but everything comes out of that. There's no black, and then there's just white. But anyway, I know that sounded like a lot. It's all in the material list if anybody is interested. But you use limited colors so that you know what they make, and then you can make them over and over again. And then also the wet palette really keeps you on track, because I can make a small amount of paint and adjust it and adjust it and adjust it, and it doesn't dry out and die. And I feel like that's a big helper also, like giant. So now I'm gonna take a little bit of the blue and kind of mix it towards what I was selecting previously, and I'm just gonna kind of keep on radiating out. from that sunspot. And it's going to be subtle but effective. And I am going to leave a lot of those little gold edges showing around our cloud shapes to look like the sunset is just kind of illuminating the edges of our cloud shapes, especially down here at the bottom. All right, now we're ready to move up. Move up to the upper. Now, the part that's next to the sun, I'm going to go back to the more mauve-y color. Maybe add a little bit of yellow because it's adulterated by what I was just mixing before. But I mean just like a touch. You know what else is nice about working small is you don't have to be afraid of using or wasting anything because you're using like these tiny, tiny amounts. And that's another reason I feel like the wet palette is more essential for those small paintings. That was a lot of red I just added, I know. Illustrating my point again. There we go, that seems about right. These I'm going to need to illuminate them a little bit more with yellow, but that's fine. I'm going to make little cloud shapes that are kind of like escaping from the middle. That's what I feel like when they're angled out from the middle. I feel like they're like escaping. Okay, about there is where I'm going to want to knock it off with that warm cloud color, shadow color, if you will, and then go back to the more blue version of it. And then there we go. And there's going to be less of that highlighted edge on the clouds that are away from the sun. A little bit, just not as much. And at about here is when I'm going to go darker again. And I added just a tiny touch of quinacridone magenta to this color here. Maybe even a little bit darker right at the end there. It's these really muddy colors, these grays, that I feel like make everything pretty magical. And I'm kind of moving back and forth between the warmer color and the cooler color to kind of make this cloud varied. We'll give it dimension. Allison, hello! I was hoping you'd show up, but I wasn't positive. Good morning, how are you doing? Also, hold on. Thank you for that. So now it's perfectly fitted to my head. You missed the story. I didn't know, let's repeat that again. I didn't know how to pin it to the towel, like how exactly to do it. So I just got it damp and wrung it out, and then I just wore it until it dried. So now it's like a perfect fit. Yeah. God, that muted story thing hasn't happened in a while. I think we're maybe a little bit more edging on the clouds and then it's done. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I like it. So maybe you got to let me know which stream you want to attend and we will do your painting, which is going to be pretty spectacular, I think. The purple hat is cute. I feel like this needs to be just a touch lighter. Not a lot though, just like a little. And then some little white and yellow fringes down in here. I need a cleaner brush for that. Hey, I found it. I found it, but I'm detail oriented. God, that must be really intense when you're knitting to find a mistake like later or something like that, and it's like, oh God, is it worth going back? I would have a hard time with that because like all the crafts that I do or the artsy things that I do, if I make a mistake, I'm kind of like, oh, I can just paint over that. It's crushing. Sad. I feel you on that. That seems sad. Like, what do you do now? How do you go on? How do you make peace? Oh God, I just painted my microphone. It's never worth it to go back. It's okay. I don't, it's on the back. It's totally fine. Totally fine. And then I was thinking I'd be really excited and happy with some leggy warmers. But I'm gonna need to give you some leggy measurements. Yeah. Because I've always wanted some, but I can't find any that are the right size. Like ever. Ever, ever. In like some sort of naturalistic gray, like an unbleached wool look, something like that, you know? I'm gonna do a little sky hole right there. I think that's kind of stylish. And that now I feel like I have to do one on the other side though. Oh yeah, that works. Yeah, leg warmers. I don't know, it can't possibly be like, it's not super complex, right? It's just a tube. This has to be the correct size tube. I'm pretty excited about the whole thing. Yay! Okay, I will try to remember to do that later. Yeah, leg sock, exactly. Oh, dog hair. Okay, now we got to do the rays on the bottom, but I'm having a hard time deciding whether I'm going to go dark and go up. Yeah, but that's what's happening. Usually I take the light color and I paint the ray down. Experimentation. I mean, might work. I feel like it works. I also feel like I want to bring a little bit of the mauve in from the sides here. There's a couple reasons I like to do that. Kind of hugs the composition. Because any of these hard lines that go off the page can kind of lead you out a little bit. And you soften up those lines, kind of keeps you more inside. Feeling like I wanted to break up some of that space. Okay, now we're ready to move down to the sea, I think. Yeah, I'm hoping those rays of light are obvious enough. Okay. I got this really neat new doohickey. It's like an arm to hold my phone. So no more shaky shots for reals. I'm gonna be using a lot of this gray, and I'm just gonna use this other color from the previous painting. That's not a big deal. I'm using cerulean blue and then just pulling a little bit of quinacridone magenta over. Then I'm going to add a little bit of the yellow. And then more white. And that's going to give us the gray we want. And if it doesn't, it almost does. It's very close. So I'm going to make a lighter color, lighter version, and keep it just the way it is. Just the way it is. That's not a song. And then CAD medium back here on the darker side. And then we're going to need a much darker version. Or do we? A little bit, not a lot. So I'm going to use the ultramarine to make that value a little bit darker. And you see what I've built here is a gradient that goes from darker to lighter with a little bit of variation in hue, just to keep it interesting. And I'm going to go to the middle. I also think I should switch paintbrushes, for crying out loud. I'm going to go to a flat. Rinse off our little point boy there. He can take a little nap. Okay, now horizon line. And I can't help it. I like it to be, oh, dog hair number 2. I like it to be a little bit lighter in the middle. And if you're not painting up to the line and doing it with a flat brush, then you're causing yourself undue amounts of pain. I grabbed a little bit of white, added it to the middle. Now I'm rinsing out my brush and kind of lifting some of the paint away from the middle. And so the transparency of the paint is going to help make a convincing highlight in the middle there. But I am going to grab the darker color and go to the edges. I believe that right there is where the seafoam starts. And so I'm going to start adding some white. These tiny oceans are so small. So small. So with this hard bristled brush, if I push down, it'll reveal more of the underpainting. But if I apply paint lightly, then it's going to be less of that yellow is going to show through. And that's the trick with these that's nice. Okay, now I'm going to let that all dry before I do anything else to it. Now it's just sand, but I want to add a touch more warmth to that sand color. So a little bit of the, I'll just mix it right here, that works. A little bit of the orange color. This is a tiny baby ocean, the tiniest. And I'm just gonna like smear this color on. a sand smear. That was a bit too much yellow. Just a bit. So I'm gonna add some magenta to kind of mute it a little bit. Sand gets a little bit darker, like closer to the foreground. I think it needs a little bit of ultramarine to make it darker. There we go. That's a better sand color right there. Just a little bit peachier. Like a sun-kissed. I'm going to put a little bit of the orange in the reflection here, in the foreground reflection. Just a tiny amount. And now that the sea is dry, I can put a little bit more blending back in here. There's a little bit of shadow for the sea foam. And then I feel like that's good because some of the sea grasses that we're about to put on are going to go over that spot. Allison, you might be interested to see what our next crazy idea is. If you're there, you should check the Discord for the next journal idea I'm kind of developing. Although I'm kind of scared to do it so small. I'm not fully sold on if I can accomplish it this scale. I mean, maybe I can, I don't know. You think so? You feel like I could? Because the paintings that we're going to be doing are kind of basic, huh? It's just, I would be doing them smaller and rearranging the layout. Just like, what's the worst thing that could happen? We do a couple in the journal and then we do the rest 6x8. I mean, it's fine. Yeah. And then I was thinking if I did do them separately, one, we wouldn't have to do 24, and two, we give them away as individuals, but then that's like a lot of postage. It's a lot of postage. I'd rather just do the postage the one time. Yeah, I know, right? In the journal, out of the journal, don't know. Okay, so we're gonna be doing the seagrasses with a script brush. And I'm gonna put just a tad bit more sea foam in. Kind of hint at the motion of the ocean. Okay, grass time. Oh yeah, postage. And you know, I was thinking like, why not open it up to international people? And I'm like, well, if I'm sending like 12 to 24 paintings, it's not as fun if they're like, oh yeah, you want a free gift, but you gotta pay postage. It's not as fun. Okay, now I gotta mix the color for the grass. I'm definitely not doing it with the script brush. I'm gonna do it with the palette knife. Because I'm not looking for that kind of paint. I grabbed the quinacridone nickel azo gold, which I refer to as that orange color. And then I'm gonna do something approximating a muted green. Not quite that light though. Maybe I should not have used cerulean. Should have probably just used the ultramarine. That needs to be more muted than that, so I'm going to use more of the orange. Whenever you want to mute a color, you add the color that you have out that is opposite on the color wheel. So if you were trying to mute a purple, you would add green. That's a nice color right there. That seems about right. I'm going to be doing some color mixing on YouTube, some tutorial videos on my color palette specifically, to kind of give everybody a real good look at that. Now I'm going to take some of this green I put aside. Add a little bit of white to some of it. And now I think we are talking. There's our grass range of color. Grass range. Now we're going to go back to the script brush. We're going to be going this way. Probably darker blades and then lighter blades. And some of that white is still wet. In order to avoid that dry bristle at the end of a blade, you want to know the trick? It's a real trick though. You twist the brush while also pulling up the bristles. Ha! Just a touch of a learning curve on that. Luck. You could also just use multiple brush strokes and have them come to a point, but either way, something to steady your hand on is recommended for sure. I know, and I had coffee already this morning too, so it's like, oof. It's not like a full turn or anything like that. It's just a little bit. Maybe a like a quarter turn. Just that much. When you're pulling up. Scary though. And you got to make sure that the paint is the right consistency also, because if it's too thick, then it's not gonna follow such kind of lightweight bristles, because I believe this is a watercolor brush right there. Now I started to have some bristles that are, not bristles, but grasses that are crossing over each other, because these ones are being pretty polite. And it's okay if the paint gets thin, because as it is revealing what is behind it, it makes it look a little bit more reflective. Oop, it didn't get the turn on that one. See the difference? I don't know if you can see the difference, but I didn't get the turn on that blade of grass, and so it has a little bit of paint brush bristle happening. There we go. Those two are like, they're pointing at each other now. I'm gonna make this one a little bit longer. There we go. You could start at the end and then work your way back down, but I'm not as comfortable doing that. I don't want to make the end, you know, too thick. I mean, how scary would that be if, like, dead center in the middle of your painting, you just put something that's like, blit. It is not impossible to fix, but it's not what I would call the happiest accident ever. I'm not sure if we could turn that into, like, a majestic green bird. Rorschach in the ocean? Oh man. It'd be really unfortunate. Let's see, there's a couple blades that come up that are kind of like the center blades, I guess. So I'll do those now. Make sure there's enough liquid in the paint for brush control. Do it. A little bit darker on the value on this one too. And then I guess I'll film that one. This blade, special blade. Getting in there. Close. And I'm even going to sharpen the brush. And that's another thing that you can do, you can sharpen it. That's the fat direction. That's the thin direction. And that's what I mean when I say sharpen it. Kind of like get it in the paint, and then the other direction too. It's nerve-wracking. I'm going to start pulling some greens that are different colors now too. Some of these lighter ones, okay, so the lighter ones, I'm going to start them at about halfway up. And kind of tuck them behind things. And there's some blades of grass that are kind of like coming straight down as if they're like bent towards us. And I would love to do that. Let's see. Oh yeah, I feel like that works. They're closer too, so they're gonna be a bit thicker. And I might add some more white to them also. There we go. Now we're building up some depth to the grass. And I want some orange, more orange ones. Just want to add a little bit more clutter. Tape heel is going to be interesting on this one. I don't really know what I'm going to get. Man, I want to thicken up these guys, but it's nerve-wracking. Whoop. Okay, now a couple more highlights on the grass, and I think then we can call this one done, honestly. I covered up a couple of those, but it is appropriate. Yeah, you really have to follow the same path that you were just on. Okay. I don't know, what do you think? That one looks done to me. Maybe a little bit more white up here, because a lot of times at the end, I'll pump up the white. Because you really don't know what it's going to do until it's dry completely. And it really is magical when there's just tiny bright white highlights. And maybe while I'm defining those rays right there, I'll define just a couple of these. Well, that's close. Lovely. I wasn't sure about this one. I didn't know if it was going to be boring or what, but I am pretty happy with it. I think it turned out very nice. So we're finishing up those last couple little details in the sky. I like it. Okay, that's page 18. How exciting. Should we do the tape peel? Can we do the tape peel? Let's see. I'm gonna get set up for tape peel, which would be, you know, fun to do right here. But I gotta make sure that this stays on the desk and does not move. I already have the next one all prepped for peeling also. Let's see if we can make it work. I'm not sure, because I do have like both of them taped and everything. I'm gonna shtuckle. Holy moly. Is it on there? It feels on there. Okay. I wonder if it'll work. Well, I kind of want to experiment. Can it be done? Nope, cannot be done. Because you're looking at the camera and it's like right in the stream camera's face. So the tape peel is gonna have to be for Instagram and Reels and all that exclusive. But I'll do that after stream. Okay, so I'm gonna flip this one and it's just dry enough to be able to do so because I know it's not gonna hit the next one. Put a little rock in between there. Okay, page 19. And I believe the reference for this one is on Discord as well, if you're interested. This one's a picture that I took. Ooh, it's in the photo trove. Photo trove. Okay, have fun at work. Oh no, rain. We actually have a sunny day today, thank God. It's a little break. Here is the reference photo for the next one. This one is around here. It's Point Lobos. There's a lot of green in this one too, so I'm gonna lay it out with a marker first. Right, Ethel, well, thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you next time, and have a good day. On this one, it's actually on the smaller side. Thank you, I will. There's a little horizon lines there. And you know, this one does not have a sunset going on actually, which is not common among these scenes. There are rocks though. There are rocks and there are trees. Cypress trees, which are some of my favorites. This pen is about out of steam. I'm going to be making the cypress trees a lot bigger in the painting than they are in the reference. Just give them a more style. There's some various stumps and stuff here too. I like these cypress trees. It feels like they're always reaching out. Which makes really nice lead lines. Okay, that's enough anyway. Enough that's laid out. Gonna improv on that a little bit. Goodbye, pen. It was nice knowing you. Still have some other colors, but the other two colors that I'll share with you that I use are this hazelnut color and a light peach color. Now in the future, when I go back to buy these again, and they are alcohol based, which is important, I'm just gonna get this one, the neutral gray. I don't know if you can read that, but it does say neutral gray. That's the one that I use the most and the one that I feel like works for everything. Now these rocks and things just happen to be this exact color. See, I've pretty much murdered the tip of this one. I love these little grasses and stuff. I'm going to be bunching them up. To give them more defined area. Okay, I think that's all we're going to need, honestly. And I am going to start with that raw color. Probably use all the same brushes, and that's fine. Fortunately, I'm going to use some of this green too, but I think I'm going to have to clean off a spot. Some cleaner yellow. Okay, here we go. Number 19. I'm starting with a yellow, just a little touch of red, and then some white. Neutralizing it a little bit to put it over the rock area. That's pretty close to the color that the rocks are. I'm just going to be shadowing and highlighting them, muting them down. I'm gonna kind of vignette the underpainting there. Okay, and I want that to be the lightest point here. It's gonna be, our eye is gonna travel up to the trees and then out to the clouds. That's kind of the hope here. And there's some clouds. It's more like diffusion though, like lifting fog. And I'm gonna bring it up to this corner. Adding a little bit of the cobalt teal to the cerulean blue, and I'm making this a very light color. I'm gonna keep the paint really light where the trees extend out. Kind of build up the fog here, and then I'm going to extend it up into puffy white clouds. Okay, I feel like that will do, and then I'm gonna put the horizon line and the ocean in right now. So they're all gonna have the same colors. It's a pretty faint blue-gray. I'm gonna try to make sure it stays pretty darn low contrast. It even looks like there is fog on that horizon line. And now, blue-green. I'm gonna try to add the layers as I'm working forward. The reflection of the clouds. Looks like there was some wind that day. And it's gonna get a little bit darker and more saturated, but I guess not until here. Greetings! How are you doing today? Ooh, that might be a little too gray. A little bit too much sturdy brush. There, it's a lot better. I'm gonna move those colors together. Pretty much getting there with the ocean. Gonna put a little bit more sea foam in the foreground here. But I think I'm gonna grab a smaller brush for that. Like the tiny point brush. I think that'll about do it. And now that the background range has dried, I'm going to add a little bit. I see now that I'm going to add a little bit more blue to it. There we go. Is it time for rocks? I think it's time for rocks. I have all these earthy tones already mixed from the previous painting, so that's kind of nice. I'm going to be simplifying a lot of these rock shapes. It's definitely tricky keeping things loose, but still honoring all the texture. Okay, now the lights on the rocks. There's going to be some light yellows and then some cool colors as well. I'm going to start with the light yellows because that's what we have here. And then I'm going to pop out the whites at the end. Now mixing some cool grays. Don't need a terrible amount, but there is some. I'm switching back to that warm gray. Okay, I feel pretty good about that. Maybe add a little bit more texture up in here. A little bit warmer of a color also. Got kind of some green going on, which is fine. There's some little scrub brushes and things up in here, and I feel like that's pretty appropriate. I'm adding some red and some ultramarine blue to deepen the value just a little bit. Okay, I feel pretty good about those rocks. Now these trees are the tiniest trees. Should I save them till last? I just don't know. Nah, we'll do them now. It's fine. Adding some more ultramarine blue to, again, make that value deeper. And we're not going to need very much paint because there's really not that many branches and stumps and things of that nature. So. There's all kinds of things going on this rock. There's lots of little snags and stuff on this cliff. Okay, now a different brush type. Gonna go with the little one though. Not the smallest point, but you know, smaller. And the green is not super saturated or super obvious. It's almost a silhouette, but not quite. So we're gonna stay kind of muted in color. Maybe a little bit lighter on the tops. The tree's got a little bit bigger than I originally intended, but you know, obviously gonna go with that. I'll just extend some branches out to loosen it up a little bit. Yeah. I'm bringing some highlights into the middle of the tree. Adding some more dimension. I pulled some branches out. That adds a little dimension too. Now we can kind of like peek through there. I might add a few more airy sky holes to break up that space. But I think for now, while that's all drying, I'm going to move into the foreground, which will be kind of exciting. It's some grasses and wildflowers. I'm going to start with where the dark areas are, which I'm going to put them towards the edges here, and that's gonna help frame our composition. The focal point here is the light on the rocks on this painting. Over here in this corner, that's going to be pretty solidly shadowed. This is all not in the reference photo. Okay, now I'm gonna brighten up those colors. Here's some midtones. And then there's some sage greens. Oh, okay, there's just enough space for some light green on here. Okay, now a smaller brush. I'm going to detail in some of that stuff. I'm going to start with the lights and then work down to the darker colors. All right, now I'm going to go to the darker, the mid-greens that we were doing earlier. Kind of cut them in here and there into the lighter colors to make them pop. All right, now tiny little flowers. They're like in little mounds, which is fun. And also I feel like looks a lot better when you're painting them too. It's better if the flowers are in little areas. as if it were on a little bush that was right here. And you want to vary your shapes, even though they're little round flowers. They might be at different angles. And different transparencies is good also. Let's do another little white flower bush over on this side. All right, now yellow flowers in some bunches. We'll do these bunches a little bit smaller. And then there's some orange also. And this palette is pretty much thrashed after this last 3 paintings. It's been really a lot without cleaning it. That's a good red orange. I'm changing the flower shape just a little bit for the orange flowers. I'm really big fan of the wildflowers on the coast in the spring. There's like so many little bunches of different kinds. Most of them pretty small. There we go, I like that. That takes so much, some of the burden off the trees, which is good, because they weren't my super favorite. They're all right. Let's put some sky holes in there. I want to take out some of the highlights in that tree. I know it seems crazy, but I feel like it'll kind of, there's almost too much texture in it. Too much is happening. There we go. It's like there's too much light on the front of it. Much better. Much better. I'm digging that. Stick that green down in there. No problem. And then I'm just gonna pop out some of the white in the clouds. I'm gonna make sure that my brush is real clean for that. And that'll wrap up number 19, which is exciting. Gotta add the wispies, the final wispies, the wispy pass. Love that. Love that. This was from a trip. A significant trip from long ago. And I'm really glad that I'm happy with the outcome. It is, and I will flash you the reference photo, which is on the Discord if anybody's interested. So there's the reference, and there's the final, and the location is Point Lobos. Yeah, how's that feel? How's that feel? So hopefully I'll have the capacity to write down all these locations on the back of each painting. That'd be nice. Or like a little inspirational quote or something like that. One final little touch on the focal point there. Fantastic. Okay, very happy with that. Oh, seafoam. Is there ever enough seafoam. All right, so that was number 19. Got 2 done today. And number 20. I appreciate everyone that hung out today for those 2 paintings. And I will be streaming again for a community stream on Friday morning, but then there will be a silent mirroring stream on Thursday night at 7 o'clock Pacific time. So yeah, thank you so much for hanging out, and I will see you then, and for all the subscribes and follows and all the love. Have a pleasant day.